Appalachian Trail 2022. It is just so crazy, and it really hasn't even set in that the day is quickly approaching in which Stella and I are going to set out. I mean, it's just over 4 months away from now. I've been dreaming of the day for years and years. With every hike we go on, with every new piece of gear I get, every upgrade I make, it just kind of becomes a little bit more real with each step, but it still doesn't feel real, you know? Like, it still feels like I'm planning this big adventure that is never gonna happen. Like, it's just so epic that like my mind can't even like completely wrap around it. But I mean, it's coming. It's so exciting. In my Appalachian Trail 2022 announcement video that I posted a while back, Benny. For anyone that's been following us, you'd know that Ben was originally supposed to come, but he has some issues. Benny. As much as it breaks my heart, yeah, Ben doesn't get to go. But that's okay. My little princess Stella stepped up to the plate and more than proved herself on multiple different hikes and outings. And so she is the one who's going to be accompanying me on this adventure of epic proportions, and I'm excited, and she seems very excited as well. Here she comes. Come here, Stella. Come here, good girl. There he is. Oh, my good girl. Oh, thank you. She is my lovely little princess Stella Bella. Aren't you, good girl? Thank you. Thank you. It will be Stella and myself going on this adventure. But as we've been moving forward, we've updated a lot of our gear. I've gone from a bivy tent to our Z-Packs duplex tent that fits my gear and dog much better than that bivy tent did. I've gone from just a foldable, like accordion style sleep pad to one of the warmest, most lightweight pads I could get my hands on because, oh my gosh, do I sleep cold. I even made the swap from a sleeping bag to a quilt. Stella had a hand in that because she likes to accompany me inside the sleeping bag. And there's not always a lot of room in there, especially because my last bag was a mummy bag, and there's just not a whole lot of extra room for a dog on top of a person in a mummy bag. That thing is toasty. It was, 40 degrees at night, and I was sweating. Absolutely sweating, and I was like, oh my gosh, this will be perfect. We're gonna be doing a lot of fall hiking and some winter hiking coming up here. Stella has just about all of her gear, I think, now. I don't think we're missing anything. She's got her harness and her backpack that I talked about in my last video where I compared all of our previous bags with her current bag. Yeah, it's the custom-made harness with dog saddle bags made by Groundbird Gear. Shout out to them and their absolutely amazing gear. Not only did we get her harness and backpack from them, we also got her down quilt from them. It has a cool harness on it, so it actually attaches to her with, some clips and extra to keep it snuggled up against her because, I mean, she kind of rolls around at nighttime. She likes to get up and move herself. But yeah, we've been trekking it out. We're doing as much as we can. We go on day hikes as often as possible. Got long walks every day, almost every morning. I take each of the dogs individually on a 3-mile bike ride. That has been absolutely great, and I still don't understand how they still have so much energy afterwards. And even with all this preparation that we've been doing, I'm still constantly wondering, like, are we ready? Are we prepared enough? Do I have enough gear? Are we doing enough miles? Are my legs gonna fall off? Injury is always like on the back of my mind. It's something I'm pretty constantly concerned about, not just for myself, but for my dogs, obviously. And while I've done everything I can to mitigate risks like that, with all of our training, it's always just scary. So our first aid kit is pretty pumped up, just in case. Yeah, I'm mostly worried about the physical aspect of the trail and not as much the mental aspect of the trail. I know it you know, turns pretty repetitive and it's just a day in and day out, like wake up, eat, hike, eat, hike, eat, hike, and you just do that until finally it's time to stop hiking, and then you go to sleep. That's kind of it, like day in and day out. So I'm not super worried about the mental aspect of it. I mean, I did spend over 9 years in the Marine Corps, so they kind of do dumb stuff just for no reason, so I'm not really concerned about the mental aspect of everything. You know, boot camp and combat training, and then several years of training. And even though I'm a pogue, the Marine Corps still likes to do dumb stuff for almost no reason whatsoever. I've literally cracked a rib during training and continued going for a few more days until the training was over. Mostly because I didn't want to have to do the training again, because if I left, then I would have had to do the whole thing again, and I didn't want to do that. So I pushed through that. That was rough. That was painful. So that was both mental and physical, so got that part down. I don't know. We'll see. Past hikers, what do you think was the hardest part? Do you think it was mental? Do you think it was physical? What was like the hardest thing you ran into? Did you get injured? Did something come up back home that made wanting to go home seem like, wow, this is really important, like I should probably go home? Like, what are my worst case scenarios? What's going on there? It's something that I think about a lot, but I don't know. Who knows what could possibly come up that would want to make me go back home. Aside from that, Stella was supposed to have started her next round of training, but it got pushed back because no one signed up for it. So in the meantime, in addition to all of her, you know, hiking and walking and bike riding, things that are very important to build up her stamina, we've been doing a lot of social interaction. In addition to taking her to the PetSmart, taking her to Michael's, taking her to Home Depot, taking her just about anywhere that they will let dogs, taking her on car trips, road trips, just driving trips. Make sure that she is pretty socialized with new people. Anywho, I'd like to start doing some live streams from here on out on like Saturdays at around 3 p.m. And these will be either one or two things. Either it will be us doing, like going through our gear and tracking everything, or, and this is what I would prefer it to be used for, it'll be us going on our day hikes or our regular overnight hikes. So we go a lot to Patapsco Valley State Park. They have tons of different trails, so it'll be really great to be constantly going on different trails. And then, like next weekend, we'll be going and redoing the Maryland portion of the Appalachian Trail again. I really like doing that section because it's 41 miles long. It's pretty easy, you know, relatively. Going and dropping off the car and then driving back over to the start so that we can be dropped off there, so that we have to hike to the car. We have to get there in time. Or else I can't get to work, so it makes sticking to a schedule much easier. But as long as there is signal there, we will be doing a live stream on Saturday at about 3 p.m. We have launched a Patreon. I know, typical YouTuber thing, oh, you have a Patreon. But yes, I have a Patreon. I mean, we're doing all this stuff. We're putting work in day in and day out. And then once we start on the trail, you know, not a whole lot of income coming in once you're out there on trail. So for anybody that does have a couple bucks to spare, it means a lot to me, especially if there's a couple people who are all throwing in, you know, $1 a month. At least if you want to go check it out, check out the Patreon, see what levels we have. You know, I'm offering different stuff. Most of that money is going to be funneled into things like an extra hotel stay or an extra beer. Are you or is someone you know heading out to hike the Appalachian Trail in 2022? I would love to hear about how your planning or their planning is going. Any, you know, bumps in the road that they've hit, anything that they can share, you or they can share about extra, you know, planning tips, this, that, or the other. Have you already hiked the Appalachian Trail? Also super interested in what you have to say. You feel like you're prepared, but, you know, until I go do it, am I prepared? I just never know. Who knows? Yeah. So I'd love to hear from everybody about absolutely anything. Just a funny story, I want to hear it. Just, you know, a random thing, something bad happened, something good happened. I want to hear everything. I want to hear all of the trail stories, all of them. Tell me them. Tell me your trail stories. Our tentative start date is April 1st, but we may move it back, as in like into March. Thanks for watching. Wish us luck. I am going to keep posting update videos along with funny dog videos. I really like those. A lot of people really like those. Come here, Stella. And Stella says hello. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you out on trail, and don't forget to reapply your sunscreen.